What is going on, everyone? It's GeneralTarheel bringing you the SDL Season 4 Week 6 battle versus Coach Haku and the Mesmerizing Magearnas. And I'm going to bring a quick update to the SDL. Now, my assumption on Coach Freesh and bringing the 252 stat Alakazam was indeed correct. Freesh got really upset in a battle about another league, and he just wanted to drop every league. And that's when the investigation actually went through, and he ended up getting kicked, even though he really just dropped out. But either way, he's not allowed back because he was proven cheated. He brought multiple 252 Pokemon to other games apparently, and so we actually get a 3-0 win from that. Anyone that faces at any point when people face him in the season, they get a 3-0 forfeit. So that was unfortunate that there was actually a cheater in the league, but at the same time, we got a win that we deserved, because otherwise that game wouldn't have been like that. Because apparently even the Magneton had some 252, and the mixed Blastoise with Earthquake and whatnot. I should have done more calking than just the Alakazam, considering my suspicion. But moving on to where we are present day, we did get that unfortunate loss against Nico last week in the haxiest battle I've ever seen in my life. Not even a good battle, it was just very ugly. Nico did get the win though, so we did lose 1-0, but that's not too bad because now we are 4-1 with a positive 13, I believe, after that whole Freesh incident was settled. So now we are facing Haku and his Mesmerizing Magearnas, and he's got a pretty good draft in my opinion. Pretty scary to prep for, honestly. His draft consists of Victini, Hydreigon, Serena, Jolteon, Mantine, Mismagius, Mega Altaria, Landorus T, Hariyama, Rotom and Leavanny. So he unfortunately has a 1-5 record, but he actually plays very well, and he's just got hacked out of almost every game he plays. So I was definitely going to be careful in this game because, one, threatening roster with a good coach, I mean, it's going to be a tough battle. Voice crack. So just looking at it, you got the strength in Victini, Hydreigon, Mega Altaria, and Lando T. Setup mainly only involves Mega Altaria unless it's like a rock polished Lando, or like a workup Hydreigon if he wants to run that. He's got Hazard Removal and Rapid Spin Serena and T-Fog Mantine. He's got Sticky Webs and Leavanny that he actually brings a decent amount of games. I should have prepped a little bit more for that. And he's just got a very more offensive team. His bulk only lacks is in Serena, Mantine, Rotom and Lando T a little bit, and you can rely on Hariyama's just bulky HP fact. And for the team build, it wasn't too hard. It was kind of easy. I had a Sneasel definitely just did a lot against the roster, so that was the first thing I had to bring. I didn't want to bring a Bandit set because, I mean, just the coverage Sneasel did a lot. I brought a Life Orb Sneasel. I went Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, Knockoff, and SD. I could basically win the game if I weakened Rotom and Hariyama, because I knew those were the only things that could really take hits on the rest of his team besides that point. Oh, also weaken Mantine. Actually, Mantine... Well, actually, no. I had to run Jolly, Sneasel, 252, 252. And I unfortunately couldn't run Adamant. If I run Adamant, then I basically two-shot everything on his team besides, thick, fat, bulky Hariyama. And then we move on to Coco, just a stereotypical Life Orb Coco. I had Thunderbolt, U-Turn, Hidden Power Ice, and Dazzling Gleam. So very offensive. He had a few immunities to Volt Switch, so I definitely didn't want to use that. I opted for U-Turn instead. Dazzling Gleam was just helpful. Thunderbolt, of course, for the Strab and the electric terrain, and Hidden Power Ice specifically for that Lando. And next up, I brought Mega B just to do a lot of damage versus team. Because it did well besides for the Lando and Mantine, but I had other things that could easily take care of that. So Mega B just was a pretty basic set. Knockoff, Poison Jab, U-Turn, basic 3 moves, and then I had Pursuit just for like Victini and stuff, because Pursuit Sneasel is very obvious this game, and that's why I didn't want to bring it, because I mean there's a chance of like a Colbert Victini or something of the sort, and but he wouldn't expect that on B, so that way I could still get plenty of damage even if he did have the barrier or something like that. So, and then next up we had a defensive Tangrowth with Rocky Helmet, a usual, but definitely still helpful this game. I had Hidden Power Ice, Leech Seed, Giga Drain, and Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb was just a like Leavanny, the Serena, and also just like the neutral and like Victini that would get resisted by Giga Drain. Definitely was going to wall a lot of his offensive threats. Of course, he gets thrown out by Victini easily, which does a lot versus my team. But at the same time, I knew I had to bring it just for like Lando, Hariyama, and Serena. He also takes on Rotom pretty well. And then next up we have Milotic. I had a defensive Milotic with a little bit of special defense. This had the Wakan Berry, so it could weaken the power of Electric type move. This is mainly because I felt like Rotom and Victini were going to be very likely brings, and my Koko giving them terrain would definitely boost up like a Volt Switch off of Rotom Wash or a T-Bolt or a Bolt Strike on Victini. So I wanted to bring the Wakan Berry on Milotic. One, I could get a Mirror Coat off on the Rotom Wash, or two, I could just live a Bolt Strike from Victini and send off a Scald, which would do a lot of damage to it. So I had Scald, Mirror Coat, Ice Beam, and I believe the last one, Recover, of course, because basic Milotic. And then lastly, I had Offensive Lottie. I had Ice Beam, Draco Meteor, Psychic, and then I believe I opted some other form of coverage instead of going Defog, which I really should have. It didn't matter too much in this game, but I feel like I should have went Defog anyways, because I mean, Webs would be a problem, and he had a good rocker in Lando, so that was a misprep on my part. I basically rushed this prep because I wasn't really worried about it, or not worried, but it was like real life was taking over more instead of like this and that. You know, you just have to settle for what you can settle with. But it was an ICMZ Lottie just so I could do a lot to certain things that would try to be an answer for it. So starting off, when I see that he actually only brought Rotom Wash, Hariyama, Lando T, Victini, Leavanny, and Serena, Tangrowth actually takes on his entire team except for Victini, and it can't be a Flying EMZ Supersonic Sky Strike or whatever Lando, because that's not his Z user, that is Hydreigon. So Tangrowth takes on 5 out of 6 of his Mons, which is very helpful, so that's why I opted to lead Tangrowth, and he let Rotom Wash. So turn 1, I felt like he wouldn't stay in, he'd just Volt Switch, so I decided to go for the Sludge Bomb immediately, and I get that nice super effective hit on Leavanny since he wanted to go ahead and get up his webs. And as he goes for that, I was hoping to get the higher roll here, but unfortunately we get the same damage roll, so we do not take it out, but he clicks knockoff and kills himself to Rocky Helmet, and of course we keep a Rocky Helmet. And here's the deadly Victini, but I will make the basic play of going to Milotic first, plus I have the Wakan, so I'm not really worried. He opts to go U-turn here, and based off that damage at the time I was thinking he was Scarf, so that was a little upsetting. And right here I go for the Mirror Coat, hoping for the T-Bolt, but he just goes Signal Beam. Still doing plenty of damage, and I knew he would just go for T-Bolt here, so I just did it right again. And this will take out the Rotom Wash with the next Mirror Coat. Unfortunately, that gets Milotic very low, and that was almost a misplay, but hopefully we'll be alright. Then he goes Serena here, and I just go hard Tangrowth, because Tangrowth can take this thing on 1,000,000%, but he opts to go for Toxic, which was a good read on his part. It was also just a safe play, because if Milotic stayed in, you get a Toxic. He opts to U-turn for Momentum, and he goes straight into Lando, as I click Sludge Bomb and get the resisted damage on Lando. Right here, he opts to go for the U-turn as I stay in again, getting him some more Rocky Helmet, and I believe I opted to go for the Giga Drain here. No, I went for Hidden Power Ice, trying to kill the Lando, but I don't know why I would really stay in. U-turn was Lando's best play. And I'm forced to switch so I can get regen. I didn't really know what could take on Hariyama at this point since my Milotic was so low and Tangrowth. So that was really bad on my part, not paying attention to that. So at this point I went Beedrill, hoping I could I'll take a close combat since he should really just go for a fighting type move. But he opts for Bullet Punch, and he is a Guts Hariyama by the Flame Orb, as you see. So I just wanted to switch here and just get do some rotation, regen, Rocky Helmet stuff right here with Tangrowth, which was a pretty good play because I don't have anything. And right here I was expecting the fighting type move to take out Tangrowth, but he opts to go, so that's why I went Latias, and he went Knockoff, and there we go all the way down. And I know he's just going to go for Bullet Punch here again. So I'm forced to go Tangrowth as Lottie is really low on health. If he got up rocks, then Lottie's done, so that's what stinks. And he gets low off the Rocky Helmet here, and I believe I click Giga Drain here just to get some health back off of him, since I expected just another knockoff or something. And we do get some health back on the incoming Lando. And right here he decides to go for Stealth Rocks, and I try to get another U-turn read and going for Sludge Bomb. Giga Drain would have been a little bit more helpful, because at this point he can kill me with his U-turn. And basically just gives him a little bit more momentum, because right now I don't really have too many switch-ins for some stuff. And he goes Hariyama here. Lottie dies on the incoming rocks, so I'm forced to go Coco, as he can probably opt to sack this here. but he decides to go Serena. As I click Dazzling Gleam, and it shows Serena's definitely a decent amount of bulk, can take on Coco decently well. But I have to go for a U-turn the second turn. Did not get the KO, unfortunately. I don't think it was a roll. I think he lived no matter what. But I decided to go in the Lottie and sack it just to see what play he wanted to go for. And he goes for Trop Kick. It was very good, actually. He didn't decide to try and Synthesis stall me, since Dazzling Gleam only did 40 to him. So right here, just get the kill with Dazzling Gleam. Coco's in a good spot, but something goes down. Victini comes out, and it's a monster. I did let Tapu Koko go down here, and this was a very hard play to make right here, because this really decided the match. He definitely had an advantage at this point. I didn't know if I was going to make it anyways, or have a chance at winning. But basically, it depends on whether or not he was Scarf. I calced the U-turn that he did to my low deck earlier, and I was pretty sure he was Jolly Scarf. But apparently he was an Adamant set, and so that must have been a really low roll. But it shows he was not Scarf here, and I just had to go B. I really wanted to click Pursuit here, but I opted against it. If I would have clicked Pursuit, it wouldn't have killed Victini, but it would have possibly made a difference. I'm not exactly sure, in all honesty. But I decided to make a double into my low deck, hoping he was V-Create choice, because then I could live and, you know, get off some health. Actually, I probably wouldn't even live that if he was choice. That was pretty low. But he goes for Earthquake. We die. I click Ice Shard here with Sneasel so we can at least get another kill. But then at this point, Victini just clicks V-Create and wins. So that's very unfortunate. And he actually just clicks U-turn. I forget that. So you can definitely conserve differential. As he goes Hariyama, and Bullet Punch will definitely take out Mega B at this point. So we did get an unfortunate win against Haku, but he definitely deserved it because he's got hacked out the entire season. At least this is one loss that I can actually accept after, of course, the obvious cheating against Frisch, and then that's just that ugly battle versus Nico. So this is the first loss I'm accepting for the season in the SDL, in all honesty. And it's about time that he got a win, so that's fine for him. We're still doing plenty well in the league, even though we do have 2 losses. Definitely want to try and get wins from here on out, just so I can stay at the top, you know, have a good seed in playoffs, hopefully get a bye. Hopefully we can bounce back from that next week. Make sure to check out my APA video if you haven't already. Make sure to sub, like, share, deuces.